kicks off with Kurt Angle coming to the ring, and he says we'll know who will verse Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at the Royal Rumble before the end of the night. Then Braun Strowman came out and said he deserved to verse Brock. Then Kane came out and said no one has caused as much destruction as he has in the last 20 years, so he should verse Brock. Then Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman came out, and with all three men in the ring, Angle announced that at the Royal Rumble they will all compete in the triple threat match. Then Angle left, and the three men started to punch on. Braun got thrown out of the ring, and Kane got F5'd. Then Lesnar walked up the ramp, and Kane sat up. Seth Rollins was set to verse Samoa Joe, but Jason Jordan came out instead and said he wants to verse Joe. Then Joe came out and said whoever wins out of Rollins and Jordan can be put to sleep by him, and he watched their match from ringside. On the outside, Rollins threw Jordan into Joe and got Jordan back inside the ring and hit him with his knee finish for the win. After the match, Samoa Joe got in the ring and laid out Rollins. Then on his way up the ramp, he decked Jordan too. Backstage, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose are in Kurt Angle's office, and Rollins says he wants Joe tonight, and Jordan comes in and says he wants Joe too. Then Kurt makes Seth, Dean, and Jordan versus Samoa Joe, Cesaro, and Sheamus for later tonight. Finn Balor took on Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel in a handicap match, and it ended when Axel and Dallas double-teamed Balor, and Dallas wouldn't go back to the apron, so they were disqualified. Dallas and Axel kept beating Finn down, and then Hideo Itami came out and made the rescue for Finn. After the break, we got told Kurt Angle made Finn Balor and Hideo Itami versus Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Hideo picked up the win for his team by hitting a GTS on Axel. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak to determine the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title, and Enzo Amore was on commentary for the match. He shot on Michael Cole a few times, and then he looked at his phone and walked off. This distracted Drew, who I think wanted to impress Enzo, and Cedric got the win with the lung blower. Backstage, Enzo walks up to Nia Jax and says he got a message. Drew Gulak runs up and apologizes for letting him down and tells Enzo that he lost. Nia says they'll leave the two to talk, and Enzo gets angry. Asuka beat Alicia Fox with an armbar. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Jason Jordan versus Samoa Joe, Cesaro, and Sheamus. During the match, Rollins suicide dived onto Cesaro, Joe, and Ambrose, and Dean hurt his arm apparently. Seth rolled Cesaro into the ring but checked on Dean for a few seconds. Then when he got into the ring, he was hit with a brogue kick by Sheamus, and Cesaro pinned him for the win. A limo pulls up, and Stephanie McMahon gets out of it. Matt Hardy played chess with his fish Napoleon. Backstage, we see a doctor checking on Ambrose's arm, and Rollins is there too. Then Samoa Joe, Cesaro, and Sheamus attack both of them, and they crush Dean's injured arm in a production box. The Revival return, and they verse Rhino and Heath Slater. The Revival won with the Shadow Machine. Backstage, Kurt Angle tells Heath and Rhino they need to toughen up if they want more opportunities, and Rhino tells Heath he'll toughen him up. Elias tells us he's in the Royal Rumble, so that's the first participant, and then he tries to sing to the audience but gets interrupted by Sasha Banks, then by Mickie James, and then finally by Bayley before he takes his leave. Mickie James, Bayley, and Sasha Banks versed Paige, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose in the main event. The match ended when Sonya and Mandy wouldn't listen to the ref to get back on the apron, so they were disqualified. After the match, they continue to beat up Sasha, and Nia Jax comes out and punches on with Absolution. Paige gets the upper hand, and the three women start beating down Nia. Then the rest of the Raw women's roster run out to the ring, and everybody's brawling. Stephanie McMahon comes out, and everyone just stops brawling, and Steph gets in the ring and tells them that there will be a women's Royal Rumble match for the first time ever, and everyone does a yes chant to end the show. We'll see you next week for the next Raw review.